Hi there, Michelle, and hello all. I'm a little bit late, but anyways, never mind. I'm not that long home from church, so that's why I'm a little bit late. Being Sunday afternoon here, so a big welcome and hello to everybody, and just waiting to see who we're going to get. Um, And of course, we've got today's readings written down here. I've got written down here Genesis 12 and 13, Psalms 8 and 9, and Matthew 7. Though, of course, we could read some extras as well on top of that. And of course, if anybody's got some requests as well, you're most welcome to share those. And if somebody would like to read a passage or two, you're most welcome. I do have a link here for, I'm on Melon today, so I do have a link here for Melon if somebody would like to come up. I'll just copy the link here just so that I've got it. But we're just going to open to Genesis 12 at this stage. And I read from the New King James Version, but whatever version you have is fine. And I'm just going to open to Genesis 12 here, so just bear with me. Who do we have with us today? And yeah, I should go and get this other phone just so that I can keep up with chat. So I've just opened to Genesis 12 and just go and get this other phone just so I can keep up with chat, and then we'll be good. And, somebody's flying around in a helicopter. So yeah, I apologise for that. Oh, and I'll put this shut here on 12. So yeah, just get that back here again, and we'll get this other phone just so that I can keep up with chat. Okay. I'll just get this started and we'll start reading at Genesis 12, of course. And yeah, please don't forget to smash the thumbs up. I certainly can do with more of those. So, Genesis 12. Now the Lord had said to Abraham, get out of your country, from your family, and from your father's house, to a land that I will show you. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you, and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse him who curses you. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. Then Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their possessions that they had gathered, and the people whom they had acquired in Haran. And they departed to go to the land of Canaan. So they came to the land of Canaan. Abram passed through the land to the place of Shechem, as far as the terebinth tree of Moreh. And the Canaanites were then in the land. Then the Lord appeared to Abram and said, to your descendants I will give this land. And there he built an altar to the Lord, who had appeared to him. And he moved from there to the mountain east of Bethel. And he pitched his tent with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. There he built an altar to the Lord and called on the name of the Lord. So Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south. Now there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down to Egypt to dwell there, for the famine was severe in the land. And it came to pass, when he was close to entering Egypt, that he said to Sarai his wife, indeed I know that you are a woman of beautiful countenance. Therefore it will happen, when the Egyptians see you, that they will say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will let you live. Please say you are my sister, that it may be well with me for your sake, and that I may live because of you. So it was, when Abram came into Egypt, that the Egyptians saw the woman, that she was very beautiful. The princes of Pharaoh also saw her and commended her to Pharaoh. And the woman was taken to Pharaoh's house. He treated Abram well for her sake. He had sheep, oxen, male donkeys, male and female servants, female donkeys and camels. But the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, what is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say, she is my sister? I might have taken her as my wife. Now therefore here is your wife. Take her and go your way. So Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, that his wife and all that he had. And now Genesis 13. Then Abram went up from Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him, to the south. Abram was very rich in livestock, in silver and in gold. And he went on his journey from the south as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ai, to the place of the altar which he had made there at first. And there Abram called on the name of the Lord. Lot also, who went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. Now the land was not able to support them, that they might dwell together, for their possessions were so great, that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdsmen of Abram's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock. The Canaanites and the Perizzites then dwelt in the land. So Abram said to Lot, "Please let there be no strife between you and me, between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we are brethren. Is not the whole land before you? Please separate from me. If you take the left, then I will go to the right, or if you go to the right, then I will go to the left." And Lot lifted his eyes and saw all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as you go toward Zoar. Then Lot chose for himself all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated from each other. Abram dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent even as far as Sodom. But the men of Sodom were exceedingly wicked and sinful against the Lord. And the Lord said to Abram, after Lot had separated from him, "Lift your eyes now and look from the place where you are, northward, southward, eastward, and westward. For all the land which you see I give to you and your descendants forever. And I will make your descendants as the dust of the earth, so that if a man could number the dust of the earth, then your descendants also could be numbered. Arise, walk in the land through its length and its width, for I give it to you." Then Abram moved his tent and went and dwelt by the terebinth trees of Mamre, which are in Hebron, and built an altar there to the Lord. And we'll read Genesis 14 today also. And then we'll move on to Psalms. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that they made a war with Bera, king of Sodom, Bershak, king of Gomorrah, Shidab, king of Admah, Shemember, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is the war. All these joined together in the valley of Siddim, that is the salt sea. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer, and in the 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer and the kings that were with him came and attacked the Rephaim in Ashtaroth Karnaim, the Zuzim in Ham, the Emim in Shavah, Kiriathaim, and the Horites in their mountains of Seir, as far as the El Paran, which is by the wilderness. Then they turned back and came to En Mishpat, that is Kadesh, and attacked all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites who dwelt in Hazanon Tamar. And the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, the king of Admah, the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is Zoar went out and joined together in battle in the valley of Siddim against Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, Tidal, king of nations, Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar. 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of asphalt pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled. Some fell there, and the remainder fled to the mountains. Then they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their provisions, and went their way. They also took Lot, Abraham's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. Then one who had escaped came and told Abraham the Hebrew, for he dwelt by the terebinth trees of Mamre the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Aner, and they were allies with Abraham. Now when Abraham heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his 318 trained servants, who were born in his own house, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. He divided his forces against them by night, and he and his servants attacked them and pursued them as far as Hobah, which is north of Damascus. So he brought back all the goods, and also brought back his brother Lot and his goods, as well as the women and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him at the valley of Shaveh, that is the king's valley, after his return from the defeat of Chedorlaomer, and the kings who were with him. Then Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was the priest of God Most High, and he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abraham of God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand. And he gave him a tithe of all. Now the king of Sodom said to Abraham, Give me the persons and take the goods for yourself. But Abraham said to the king of Sodom, I have raised my hand to the Lord God Most High, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will take nothing from a thread to a sandal strap, and that I will not take anything that is yours, lest you should say, I have made Abraham rich, except only what the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men who went with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre, let them take their portion. After these things, well, that's 14. No, we'll keep 15 for next week. So we're now going to just turn to Psalms 8 and 9. Or would you like me to read 15? Actually, we might even read 15 just to keep in context here. So Genesis 15. After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your exceedingly great reward. But Abram said, Lord God, what will you give me, seeing I go childless, and the heir of my house is Eliezer of Damascus? Then Abram said, Look, you have given me no offspring. Indeed, one born in my house is my heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, saying, This one shall not be your heir, but one who will come forth from your own body shall be your heir. Then he brought him outside and said, Look now toward heaven and count the stars, if you are able to number them. And he said to him, So shall your descendants be. And he believed in the Lord, and he accounted it to him for righteousness. Then he said to him, I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land to inherit it. And he said, Lord God, how shall I know that I will inherit it? So he said to him, Bring me a 3-year-old heifer, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. Then he brought all these to him, and cut them in two down the middle, and placed each piece opposite the other. But he did not cut the birds in two. And when the vultures came down on the carcasses, Abram drove them away. Now, when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and behold, horror and great darkness fell upon him. Then he said to Abram, Know certainly that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, and will serve them, and they will inflict them 400 years. And also the nation whom they serve I will judge afterward. They shall come out with great possessions. Now as for you, you shall go to your fathers in peace. You shall be buried at a good old age. But in the 4th generation they shall return here, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet complete. And it came to pass, when the sun went down and it was dark, that behold, there appeared a smoking oven and a burning torch that passed between those pieces. On the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, To your descendants I have given this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates, to the Kenites, the Kenizzites, the Cadmonites, the Hittites, and the Perizzites, the Rephaim, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Girgashites, and the Jebusites. And we're now going to move or turn to Psalms and Psalms 8. And just giving you all a chance to turn to that. And of course, if anybody's got a request, we are happy to read those out as well. So we're now going to Psalms 8. So just giving you all a chance to move or to turn to Psalms 8, and then I'll start reading. So Psalm 8, to the chief musician on the instrument of Gath, a psalm of David. And starting at verse 1. O Lord our God, How excellent is your name in all the earth, who have set your glory above the heavens. Out of the mouth of babes and nursing infants you have ordained strength, because of your enemies, that you may silence the enemy and the avenger. When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have ordained, what is man that you are mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you visit him? For you have made him a little lower than the angels, and you have crowned him with glory and honour. You have made him to have dominion over the works of your hands. You have put all things under his feet, all sheep and oxen, even the beasts of the field, the birds of the air, and the fish of the sea that pass through the paths of the seas. O Lord our Lord, how excellent is your name in all the earth. And now we shall read Psalm 9 in a minute, but I'll just grab a drink. Otherwise, I get a bit of a dry throat reading out so much, so I'll just go and grab a cold drink, and then we'll continue on with Psalm 9. So, Psalm 9, to the chief musician, to the tune of Death of the Sun, a psalm of David. So at verse 1, I will praise you, O Lord, with my whole heart. I will tell of all your marvellous works. I will be glad and rejoice in you. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. When my enemies turn back, they shall fall and perish at your presence. For you have maintained my right and my cause. You sat on the throne, judging in righteousness. You have rebuked the nations. You have destroyed the wicked. You have blotted out their name forever and ever. O enemy destructions are finished forever. And you have destroyed cities. Even their memory has perished. But the Lord shall endure forever. He has prepared his throne for judgment. He shall judge the world in righteousness and he shall administer judgment for the peoples in uprightness. The Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. And those who know your name will put their trust in you. For you, Lord, have not forsaken those who seek you. Sing praises to the Lord who dwells in Zion. Declare his deeds among the people. When he avenges blood, he remembers them. He does not forget the cry of the humble. Have mercy on me, O Lord. Consider my trouble from those who hate me. You who lift me up from the gates of death, that I may tell of all your praise in the gates of the daughter of Zion. I will rejoice in your salvation. The nations have sunk down in the pit which they made, in the net which they hid. Their own foot is caught. The Lord is known by the judgment he executes. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Meditation. Selah. The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God. For the needy shall not always be forgotten. The expectation of the poor shall not perish forever. Arise, O Lord, do not let men prevail. Let the nations be judged in your sight. Put them in fear, O Lord, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Selah. And we'll read Psalm 10 today as well. So Psalm 10. Why do you stand afar off, O Lord? Why do you hide in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride persecutes the poor. Let them be caught in the plots which they have devised. For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire. He blesses the greedy and renounces the Lord. The wicked in his proud countenance does not seek God. God is in none of his thoughts. His ways are always prospering. Your judgments are far above, out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he stares at them. And verse 6, he has said in his heart, I shall not be moved. I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing, and deceit and oppression under his tongue is trouble and iniquity. He sits in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places he murders the innocent. His eyes are secretly fixed on the helpless. He lies in wait secretly, as a lion in his den. He lies in wait to catch the poor. He catches the poor when he draws him into his net. So he crouches, he lies low, that the helpless may fall by his strength. He has said in his heart, God has forgotten. He hides his face. He will never see. Arise, O Lord. O God, lift up your hand. Do not forget the humble. Why do the wicked renounce God? He has said in his heart, you will not require an account. But you have seen, for you observe trouble and grief, to repay it by your hand. The helpless commits himself to you. You are the helper of the fatherless. Break the arm of the wicked. and the evil man. Seek out his wickedness until you find none. The Lord is king forever and ever. The nations have perished out of his land. Lord, you have heard the desire of the humble. You will prepare their heart. You will cause your ear to hear, to do justice to the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man of the earth may oppress no more. Oh, SD Mountain Man. Hi there, Scott. Great to see you. And we're just quietly having some readings here from Psalms at the moment. Earlier we read Genesis 12, 13, 14 and 15. And we've now just read Psalms 8, 9 and 10. And we'll read Psalm 11 also. And we do this every Sunday, well, Saturday evening, late Saturday evening for you all, but it's Sunday afternoon for me. And we just read for about 30 minutes to an hour. Whoever comes and listens and gets something out of this is really, really brilliant, and hopefully it's a blessing for you all. So Psalm 11. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. And starting at verse 1. In the Lord I put my trust. How can you say to my soul, flee as a bird to your mountain? For look, the wicked bend their bow. They make ready their arrow on the string, that they may shoot secretly at the upright in heart. If the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? The Lord is in his holy temple. The Lord's throne is in heaven. His eyes behold, his eyelids test the sons of men. And verse 5. The Lord tests the righteous, but the wicked and the one who loves violence his soul hates. Upon the wicked he will rain coals. Fire and brimstone and a burning wind shall be the portion of their cup. For the Lord is righteous. He loves righteousness. His countenance beholds the upright. And next week we'll be reading from Psalm 12. And we'll now turn to Matthew and read Matthew 7. So Matthew in the New Testament. And yeah, who else do we have here with us at the moment? And of course, if somebody's got a special request that you'd like me to read out, please feel free to share that. And well, actually, I'll put the link up here if somebody's got something you'd like to share as well. But of course, must be subscribed to this channel, and I must see who you are. Just because we get the odd troll and that sort of thing, unfortunately. So turning to Matthew 7. So just giving everybody just a couple of minutes to find Matthew 7. So Matthew 7. Judge not, that you be not judged. For with what judgment you judge, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. And why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but do not consider the plank in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me remove the speck from your eye, and look, a plank is in your own eye? Hypocrite! First remove the plank from your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Do not give what is holy to the dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn and tear you in pieces. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it will be opened. Or what man is there among you who, if his son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a serpent? If you then, being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven, who is in heaven, give good things to those who ask him? Therefore, whatever you want men to do to you, do also to them. For this is the law and the prophets. Enter by the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and there are many who go in by it. Because narrow is the gate, and difficult is the way which leads to life, and there are few who find it. Beware of false prophets, who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes, or figs from thistles? And verse 17. Even so, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Therefore by their fruits you will know them. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, excuse me, and done many wonders in your name? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you, depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house. And it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was its fall. And 28. And so it was, when Jesus had ended these sayings, that the people were astonished at his teaching. For he taught them as one having authority, and not as the scribes. Do we have any special requests? And next week we'll be reading from Matthew 8. And of course, we're sure to be adding some extra verses and passages here. Oh, yes, Odie the Boston Terrier, you're crashing, so I'll let this roll. Awesome. It's really great to see you. We're getting towards the end here, actually, so yeah, you may have to go to the start and let it sort of roll from the start again. We've been here 46 minutes. If anybody's got any special requests, we can certainly read those out. But next week, February, I've got February 12 for this location here, but for you it would be February 11. And trying to think what time it would be, Central Time. Probably would be about 10 p.m. Central Time on Friday evening. We'll be reading Genesis 16 and 17 and probably some extra passages on top of that to see how we go. Psalm 12 and 13, and could well be some extra psalms on top of that and some extra passages on top of that. And Matthew 8. We sort of want to try and keep it, if we can, 30 minutes to an hour each week. Some weeks will be a bit more and some weeks a bit less, I guess. And if we can, hopefully we can get through the whole Bible within a year. Of course, we will have some special extra readings for Easter, of course. As well as, our usual weekly readings. So, we can share something there. But yeah, we'll try and do this every week, late Saturday evening for you all, or it's Sunday afternoon for me. So we'll be going 48 minutes. So we're just going to wait a few more minutes, see if anybody's got anything to share, and then we'll cut off here and call it a day and have a bit of a rest, I guess. So just waiting, give everybody a chance. If you've got something you'd like to share, any testimonies or passages, you're most welcome to do so. And we do have the Melon app that, or the Melon link, if you'd like to come up and read something out and share something out, that would be brilliant as well. I'm going to grab myself a cold drink while I wait and, give everybody a couple of minutes chance just to join in somewhere. And then we'll call it a day. I better make another one of these cold drinks for later too. And then I'll just check if anybody's come in, wants to share anything or join in. Okay, so yeah, we've run 52 minutes. So yeah, does anybody have something you'd like to share? Otherwise, we'll call it a day here, and we'll be back next week, of course, to share some more. Thought I might have seen Troy today, but he must be busy. Anyways, never mind. Just give everybody a chance, and then we'll call it a day. And we certainly had some interesting studies at church today. We shared from Luke today, actually. And because we shared a lot of the parables of Jesus. So, yeah, something well worth reading and checking out there, of course, for those of you who'd like to check that out. And just giving everybody a bit of a chance just to say hello, goodbye, and whatnot, or if you've got something to share, and then we'll cut it off here and Just got a few things to do today. Get some laundry out and interesting tasks like that, and then just a bit of a relax for the rest of the day, and just meditate and reflect on what I've read here and what we shared at church earlier today. Oh yeah, I should knock this, should I? The make for some interesting view, won't it? Knocking the table. I think I might have to make myself another cup of coffee too. Anyways, I'll give everybody just a bit of a chance to say hello, goodbye, and then we'll call it a day in about a minute's time, and we'll be back about the same time next week. So, we're looking at about 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, Friday evening. Of course, that's about 3 p.m. my time, Sunday afternoon in this location. And we'll be sharing at least Genesis 16 and 17. There could well be some extra passages from Genesis. Psalms 12 and 13. And could well be some extra passages from Psalms, of course. And Matthew 8. And we are sort of hoping to, if we can, to sort of get through the Bible, the whole Bible this year. So, the passages will sometimes be a bit extra. And of course, if somebody's got something you'd like to come up and share, you're most welcome to do so. Anyways, I'm going to thank everybody who's come here today and just listened. I'll also thank everybody who runs this back and watches this back, and hopefully you all get something out of this, and these messages from the Lord and readings of the Lord's Word. Hopefully it blesses you all. And of course, we do pray to the Lord that He does send blessings upon us all. And if anybody's ever got any prayer requests, somebody's sick or going through difficult times, please do feel free to share those out, and praise requests or testimonies as well. And I just ask that everybody prays for Carol. She's going through some difficult times with her health at this stage, so please do keep her in your prayers. And I know that Star Homestead India also asked recently if you all could pray for him and his family and his farm, so please remember them as well. Also, ongoing prayers for Andy and Peggy Page of Page Family Homestead. And the leader of my home church group, currently in India. His father's been ill and had to have urgent surgery, so please do pray for Stanley and his father, and please do pray also for Jaya, Stanley's wife. She's back here working at the moment. She sort of, obviously couldn't go at this stage due to work, so please pray for her as well, and pray for our church here in this area. Anyways, a big thank you to everybody who's been here, and God bless you all, and take care. God bless, and until next time, bye-bye.